welcome to the world of commercial real estate. Throughout our 7-minute video, we will show you the types of clients a broker will face and the primary sectors that make up the commercial real estate industry. From sources of academia, leading market research, and testimonials from current industry professionals, our team would like to present to you the key steps to negotiating and closing your first deal as a commercial real estate broker.
Hello everyone, my name is Max Ripper.
And my name is Matthew Morrison.
And we're thrilled to have the opportunity to introduce to you today the 5 necessary steps a young broker must take in successfully negotiating and closing their first commercial real estate deal.
Commercial real estate is a truly unique industry with an especially unique buying and selling process.
Primarily, the market is split between these 4 following client categories. We have landlords, tenants, investors, and vendors, split across 3 primary industries: office, industrial, and retail. These independent client classes necessitate specific strategies throughout both the buying and selling process.
As a result, this creates the need for a very unique sales strategy through developing specifically tailored solutions towards a given client's real estate needs. Nonetheless, like all sales roles, commercial real estate is fundamentally a relationship-driven industry, with an added emphasis on the importance of continually networking throughout one's career.
So without further ado, it's my pleasure to introduce to you our first tip in successfully negotiating and closing your first commercial real estate deal. Our first step to successfully negotiate and close your first commercial real estate deal is to develop a set of indispensable networking skills and establish yourself in the workplace.
Considering that most of you have started out in an entry-level position, it is crucial that you have developed and continue to develop strong and positive relationships with fellow employees in the workplace and employees in other firms.
Absolutely. In the opinion of a reputable industry professional, there are associations such as the NAIOP, UDI, and YUPRE, which are centered around networking and sharing information between people in commercial real estate. The best way to network is to attend as many events as possible and, more importantly, make yourself known to other industry professionals.
Currently, many leading brokerage firms believe that one of the most impactful ways to mitigate many of the common risks associated with junior brokers is through networking and facilitating relationships based in mentorship.
Be aware that it is very easy to get discouraged as an emerging broker, especially when you exert a ton of effort into a deal with no certain outcome. However, mentor-based partnerships can leverage the financial risk emerging brokers take on.
Initially, it is essential to determine what kind of value you as an individual can bring to the table. It is necessary that upon establishing yourself in the workplace, you determine what type of client class and industry you're after. Consider utilizing all of the personal assets you have as well to help determine which client class you're best suited in. Determine in which client class you can be most effective and propose assisting better established brokers in that industry or client class in order to help mentor you in successfully closing your own first commercial real estate deal.
Upon successfully establishing yourself in the workplace and developing a set of indispensable networking skills, our second step in how to successfully close your first commercial real estate deal requires effectively establishing yourself as a broker.
So what this basically means is determining what type of broker you're going to be. Considering that there are 3 primary client classes you can choose from: office, industrial, or retail, it is imperative that you choose the client class to which you have the highest competitive advantage. To be a successful commercial broker, you need to become an expert in the given area you are operating in. Leading companies across the industry claim that commercial real estate success is dependent on 4 factors: your role, your area, your monetary infrastructure, and your presence. You must know where, how, when, how often, and how much you will be promoting your business throughout the year.
To do such, it is necessary that you first do a thorough analysis of the market that you are going to be operating in. Establish where the most competitive areas relative to asset class are in your given market and determine where you could compete based off your own personal qualities and your position in the firm. Determine all the relative zoning information for the given areas you operate in, as well as past and expected lease rates and property values, all of which can be found through company databases.
It is essential that you determine your competitive advantage based off the given asset class and area you're specializing in. Whatever area and asset class you have the highest competitive advantage in should be the area and asset class you specialize in. As a whole, it is essential to establish yourself as an expert in the given area and asset class you're operating in.
Now, if we consider the fact that your first deals will not be with prospective buyers and sellers of commercial property, as, for the most part, these types of clients will work with more experienced brokers, you will most likely be dealing with either tenants or landlords. Both of these respective client classes need altering forms of preparation and analysis to serve their needs, so it is necessary to determine how to prepare yourself when serving these specific needs for landlords and tenants.
To best prepare yourself in dealing with prospective tenants, as a broker, you need to be logistically focused. When looking for space for a prospective tenant, it is very important to first do a thorough analysis of their business to fully understand how they operate. By understanding your client's business to a T, you can most effectively understand their real estate needs and determine potential solutions. When working for tenants, it is most important to focus on market demographics to best determine where ideal space is for your client. When looking for space for a tenant, leading brokerage firms highly recommend that you develop positive relationships with property managers of potential space. Having strong relationships with property managers is key to tenant retention. To add, it is helpful to ensure that property managers maintain steady communication with their tenants, as poor tenant-property manager relationships lead to poor tenant retention.
Landlords, it is very important to consider and represent the landlord's needs. You need to know the building, all the available space, local market transactions, and current tenants in the area. Understanding the factors that affect the property and building are most important to a landlord. From there, it's time to implement your skills as a marketing professional to market the space effectively and bring the ideal tenant to the landlord.
As a whole, the best way to establish yourself as a broker is to begin generating revenues for the firm. To do such, aside from following our 5 steps mentioned in this video, it is imperative that your daily regime encompasses the 5 P's to commercial real estate brokerage profits: planning, prospecting, presence, performance, and persistence. Now that you've effectively determined which industry and area you're going to be operating in, it's imperative that you develop a realistic set of leads to go after.
There are a number of different strategies one can take to develop an appropriate set of leads. As a newly emerging broker, since you have yet to make an impression within the industry, utilizing company databases, networking, and cold calling are all going to be your primary tools for assembling a set of potential clients.
With that being said, in today's day and age where everyone has access to the internet and can find information quickly, you have to bring something more to the table than the client can already bring themselves.
There are differing approaches in establishing a set of leads when hoping to serve clients. Regardless, industry research highly recommends creating a sales plan and committing to it. You are much more likely to create an impact by following through on a well-developed sales strategy rather than winging it or improvising. By determining who your most ideal clients are through assessing your client's monetary value, needs, authority, and willingness, you can then further develop how you are going to contact and sell your services to these clients.
This can be done through either a mail, phone, or email campaign, or via a more personal approach. Prospective leads should be further broken down into primary, secondary, and tertiary leads. From there, it is up to you as a broker to use your competitive advantage to turn these prospective leads into ideal clients.
Now that you have a set of potential clients in your hand, it's ideal that you appropriately allocate time to prioritize the highest grossing potential clients relative to the urgency of their real estate needs.
As an emerging broker, your first deals will be composed of high percentage commissions, but low dollar values, which eventually shift in direction over time.
Therefore, from the first time you pursue a client, it is imperative that you've developed an effective strategy through analyzing the client's buying or selling process to present a solution for their possible real estate needs.
Considering academic theory, the flow of commercial real estate deals are quite similar to that of corporate sales. The flow of a deal is based on the idea that all deals are composed of these 4 necessary steps: prospecting, aligning, negotiating, and executing. Through aligning your ideal prospect's buying process with your selling actions, you'll be far more effective as a broker throughout the negotiation and execution stages of your commercial real estate deals, maximizing the likelihood of turning a prospect into an account.
When representing tenants, it is very beneficial for you to have a good prior relationship with the landlords and property managers of a given space before your showing. This will allow you to be more informative towards the client, as you will be able to better answer questions about the space.
To add, if you have the opportunity to accompany senior brokers on their showings, learning how they market space and present space to clients can be key in how you start to develop your marketing tactics as a real estate professional.
Closing the deal is the most crucial component of any commercial brokerage buying or selling process. In fact, 90% of deals break down in this final stage. Even if a deal is all set for completion, it can change in the blink of an eye.
As a junior broker, you need to develop preventative measures to best mitigate the possibility of a deal being lost.
So, to conclude this video, we will now highlight the necessary practices a junior broker must execute to ensure the highest probability of success in closing their first commercial brokerage deal and beyond. One of the largest challenges in closing a commercial real estate deal is the fact that by nature, these are complex deals with complex sales cycles. Given the long sales cycle, the fact that the seller has an investment of money and time, the fact that there is often a vested multi-stakeholder buying and decision team, commercial real estate is among the most complex sales industries going.
In order to properly handle this complexity and maximize the likelihood of closing the deal, one must understand the pain of the buyer, whether that pain be latent, admitted, or the solution is already apparent. Regardless, the crucial concept that a junior broker must always keep in mind is the importance of aligning the selling process with the buying process and creating verifiable outcomes. Instead of selling, it is more effective to help, teach, or enable, as this will translate into closing the deal at a far higher rate.
Ultimately, in order to close, a broker must be cognizant of the client's needs and should always be doing their best to fulfill and manage these needs, up until the conclusion of the deal. Prior to finalizing the deal, it is essential that the broker is ensured that their client is competent in the gained value as a result of taking on this deal. Don't risk losing a deal over insignificant monetary concerns. Negotiate the best deal for the client. Always put your client's interests ahead of yours. Consider that the first deal is not about finding the most lucrative deal, as your initial deals will be insignificant compared to the dollar amount earned down the road.
Well, now you are set to begin taking on the world of commercial brokerage, and we thank you for taking the time to watch this video.
We wish you all the best in your future ventures, and don't forget our 5 necessary steps in successfully negotiating and closing your first commercial brokerage deal.
Feel free to stick around to hear some of the most commonly asked questions from young brokers, and once again, best of luck on your path through a commercial real estate brokerage.
For individuals that are not familiar with the field, what exactly do you do as a commercial real estate broker?
It's just like what investment bankers do, but for properties rather than companies. So they connect buyers and sellers of investment-grade properties and earn commissions for getting deals done. Each property is unique and brings a different value to potential investors, so it's tricky to find the right buyer in each sale. You have the best shot at making it in the industry if you have the connections and the resources and are great at networking and connecting people. Is having the right pedigree, like school, connections, etc., critical in commercial real estate brokerage? Both yes and no. School doesn't really matter as long as they are confident that you can get the deal done. It's also generally easy to get one's foot in the door, at least compared to other industries like investment banking and private equity. The hard part is flourishing once you're in. Connections, however, is the biggest asset you can have in commercial real estate brokerage. It is all about who you know, and it is critical that you establish a wide circle of potential buyers, sellers, and financiers. How much can an established broker expect to make? When the deal is first completed, the broker gets a commission based on the transaction price. Also, once the deal is completed, you can expect to have at least 50% of your commission taken by your firm when you're starting out. As you bring in more transactions, you have more leverage and can start taking more of your own commission home. If you're looking for hard numbers, an experienced broker should be making around $250,000 a year at the minimum. What does the commission structure typically look like? Everything is on a sliding scale. Commission generally starts at around 6%, but that quickly drops to 4% after the $1 million mark, and then that scales down to around 0.5% for very large deals. When you're first starting out, you'll be doing more high commission percentage but low dollar value deals. However, this will shift in the other direction over time.
I'm Jake Left, an associate broker with Avison Young Commercial Real Estate. I just finished watching key steps to successfully negotiating and closing your first commercial real estate deal and found the content both useful and accurate. This video adds value and could be incorporated into a training program for real estate professionals. It was a pleasure sharing ideas with Max, River, Yanku, and Matt, and I have confidence they will have bright futures. Thanks guys, all the best.